Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to Facebook Live. As we start things off, welcome to this week's Facebook Live. We're going to talk about detoxing for all the people who I know are feeling it. Let me bring in my team. Let me bring in my team and everybody. Hi, everyone. A Shakti team. How you doing today?
Hey, how you
Hello.
doing? Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. So, for those that are joining in, that come in today, we are going to talk about detoxing. And for those who don't know who we are the Shakti Wellness Team, and we provide holistic wellness services, from coaching, counseling, wellness, yoga, everything, anything you need in balancing your mind, body, and spirit. So, today we want to talk a little bit about detoxing. And the whole purpose of this live is to just have some discussions in case people want another level of understanding detox or how to detox or how detoxing can benefit you. Can you hear
You're
me?
com- you're coming in and out, in and out.
Um, can you hear me clear, Kiara? How's it sounding for you?
You sound good for me.
Good for you. Okay, I'll come a little closer. I just want to make sure. So, in this process of detoxing, before we start, I am Asha Sims. I am the owner, clinical director of Ashakti Wellness. I am a clinical energy practitioner, yoga, sensual art educator, but more importantly, a wellness practitioner and wanting to help those integrate holistic modalities into healing. And what that means is just learning to heal from a mindset, your mind, your spirit, and your body. So, in order to heal, you must be balanced in all those areas to have that flow of energy and not feel out of alignment. So, I'm going to pass it on to my team. Let's start with you, Shay. Tell them who you are.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in on our detox webinar. I am Shay White Joseph from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I am strongly affiliated with a Shakti Wellness as a medical consultant, yoga instructor, and a healer. I got to stop shying away from that. I am a healer. I also have my own company, Yoga Blow, Earth Oasis. My prior history, I was a physician assistant for 17 years. So now I work closely with holistic modalities, combining it with my medical knowledge in order to help people live their best life. So thank you for joining us.
All right, Kiara, tell them who you are.
My name is Kiera Butler. I just started with Ashakti as a clinical intern. I'm currently focusing on addiction with an addiction, counseling with an addictions focus, and learning how to merge holistic modalities into addiction treatment.
All right, all right. So I always say this time of the season is very key. I always go back, and a lot of the work I do is dealing with the metaphysics, the root, being connected to yourself, which means being connected with the oneness of all. So, a lot of these Facebook lives and topics of discussions come up due to the clientele, some of the things we're seeing in the sessions that we always kind of like, okay, if more than one person is dealing with this, let's put some information out there to help people and give them the information they need. So on top of that, I even know for myself, just recently, it's been this pull of, I know I need to detox. I really know that I need to detox. Now, knowing that I need to detox was a whole different thing than doing it. I have all the supplies, everything, but mentally, I haven't prepared myself. So it's wondering, where am I blocked? What's blocking me? So when I say that feeling the detox and I talk about it to people, it's like having that knowing that you need to do something also pulls you to not doing it and doing the stuff you're not supposed to do. So we wanted to talk about in just an informal chat of giving information, because in my knowing of needing to detox, it started pulling me to all those addictions, all the little cravings. It's like, I want to eat all this up before I have to do that. And I'm realizing how much detoxing is so much of a mindset. It really
Mm.
is. So, in talking about that, when we're talking about detox and how do you know you need to detox is one of the key things. Because as I say, as a clinician and some of the things we see, often we disconnect from things. We disconnect from our body and keeping up with day-to-day stuff. And things go on with our bodies and we know it, but we keep it moving. And then we'll talk more later about like addictions to food. Because when we're talking about detoxing, it's really understanding now what else, where the cravings come from, especially when you say I'm about to detox. So physically, our bodies will start to feel it. Aches, pains, feeling sluggish, lacking mental clarity. And a lot of times you're thinking of something else and not even realizing it's just a matter of needing to detox. From ladies with your cycles, your menstrual cycles, depending on what you eat, all of that impacts that and can impact your body. Then, on top of that, as we always talk about the different layers, spiritual detoxing,
Mm-hmm.
because so much we have to realize there's another layer. We always get focused on the body and everything, but there is a layer that holds a lot of stuff that as you detox, you need to spiritually clear your aura too of what you're detoxing, because your food, your diet is also a combination of your mindset. So as you release things, as you deal with certain things, literally you release in all layers. And if you're spiritually blocked, you're getting downloads and it's not being be executed. And so spirit is flowing, but you're not putting anything in action. And literally, your body is feeling like it's swelling with all this information and it's not going anywhere. So within that, we have to cleanse. It's layers of cleansing. So when we talk about detox and understand, it's layers to it. It's not just the physical act, but it's also sometimes we have to start with clearing our mind, because I know that's something me and Shay talk about, that a lot of people do weight loss programs and diets and medical procedures. But if your mindset or even the behaviors of how you eat and what you eat are not addressed, that's when you end up being in that cycle all the time of trying to lose weight and or losing and it can't stop because you haven't got to the root of the issue. So within that, Dr. Shay, the yoga doctor, will you kind of go in and give us some insight of how important it is to detox? So we always talk about it starts in the gut.
It does. But before I get to the gut, let me just start out by um, just giving you a few definitions. One being that of a toxin. What exactly is a toxin? Well, toxins are waste products that our body naturally produce, such as carbon dioxide, or it can be external environmental substances that we take in through our portals being our eyes, our mouth. Like you said, the things that we take in mentally, the things we watch on TV, things we listen to on the radio, environmental factors that comes from pollutants that we have to inhale that's in the air. So that's what a toxin is. They can include pollutants, like I just said, or chemical substances, heavy metals, processed foods, all of which can have a negative effect on your health. And then there's detoxing. What exactly is detoxing? Well, it's a way to eliminate toxins from the body in order to improve your health and to lose weight if weight loss is the goal. So, usually, when people try to detox, they resort to things such as laxatives, diuretics, certain types of teas that are out there promoting weight loss, certain foods. And these methods are in itself, they can be effective, but the long term goal they're trying to reach can be disappointing when it comes to resorting to things such as laxatives and certain types of teas without knowing. Um, uh, let's see, it doesn't leave room for knowing or identifying which specific toxins need to be eliminated or removed from your body.
Mhm.
So your body is so uniquely made and structured that it has a way to eliminate toxins by the means of our detox organs, such as the liver, the kidneys, the intestines, the skin, and the lungs. A lot of people don't realize that our lung is the respiratory system is a way that we can detox toxins when we have colds and we're coughing a lot and we're coughing up mucus, that's our body's way of expelling these toxins. But what do? We rush to the store and we'll get a elixir or a syrup or something to try to stop the cough when your body's actually doing the work to eliminate whatever's ailing you.
Mm-hmm.
So these organs are our highly efficient detoxification system that our body has. You know, our body is just so magnificently made. We have our own detoxification system, but they must be healthy. These organs must be healthy in order to eliminate toxins. So the detox program that we are offering is designed to allow you to assist and support the body by optimizing or either helping the natural course of its
Right.
detoxing. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that goes back to what we don't realize in that process of detoxing is really, it is a form of elimination, but it's really eliminating certain things
Yeah,
in our diet to detox for these organs to operate appropriately. So I like what you said, how it's so often we want these quick fixes to
right,
add stuff to detox, but if our organs are healthy, and even understanding that, so understanding healthy organs is because you may appear to be slim, you may eat well, you may already have a decent diet, but say if you're dealing with anger issues,
yeah, yeah,
anger is stored in the liver. So
right,
understand, even though you may eat a certain way, if emotionally you're still inputting certain toxins or toxic emotions, it's still impacting the liver. So you still could do a detox to assist in eliminating toxic emotions that also impact your body physically for that organ to operate. And even what people I think don't understand too, Shay, what's so important when we're talking about things to do to help with detoxing and the natural aspect of what our organs can do is yoga.
yeah,
Because a lot of people don't realize yoga is just helping those organs bringing oxygen to that
right,
area
right.
to help them,
To help
work.
nourish it,
Right.
to help to fight off free radicals. You know, to help with bringing more nourishment from the oxygen into the organ system in order for it to function properly. And not only, the different emotions that are stored in our organs, which is a good point, and I want you to be able to expound on that in just a minute. But other ways to help with this is are things such as decreasing the amount of alcohol that you take in, because alcohol directly affects the liver, and the liver is a major detox organ. It helps to
Mm-hmm.
get rid of these free radicals and these waste products and things that we take in through our portals, through our skin, through our emotions. You know, it helps to eliminate that. And when you over consuming alcohol, that causes a fatty liver, that causes your liver to not function properly. So it holds on to these toxins that are flowing in your bloodstream. Also, getting an adequate amount of rest. So when you it's important that we sleep a good, at least a good 7 to 8 hours at night,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the time frames of 11 and 2, because that's when our pineal gland is producing the melatonin to help us to allow our bodies to be able to rest. When you're resting, your body's actually in a state of repair. So between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., you really should be sleeping. So I'm very concerned about the vast majority of individuals that are working a third shift
Sleeping.
job, and
Mm-hmm.
they are working during those hours where that crucial sleep is important.
And they will probably see some issues with weight
Yes,
metabolism because of the body not being able to adjust to the normal cycle of things and throwing things off. And I think even with that and understanding the underlying, when we're talking about the organs and detoxing the kidneys, and I just want to explain because somebody did ask about, are we focusing just on the detoxing of the body or also the spirit, but how it all intertwines. So understand in Chinese medicine, it goes that the liver holds anger, the kidneys hold fear, the lungs hold sadness. So, understanding that we have to be aware of our emotion and how it impacts our bodies, because different emotions, even like with the pancreas, that's where repressed anger is stored.
yes,
So, when people are having certain issues within the physical, we have to also look at the emotional. And that's why initially I said when we detox, it should be a full layered of mind, body, and spirit detox, and also doing shadow work,
Yes.
because it's really understanding your holes and the culture of food and eating. So you're right, detoxing is not just about the body, but we have to look at what our physical actions are in result of our mindset, which in a lot of state of times is our addictions. And
Right.
that's
Right.
where I want to just let Kiara just chime in a little bit, because in detoxing is where you really realize what you're addicted to.
Right.
Because the minute you have to take it out, you're going to have often a physical response, you're going to have a mental response,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
it even may be a spiritual, because you may be on your doing all kind of prayers that keep from fighting, because it really feels like you really dealing with some stuff. It may bring up anger, things you didn't even realize that the food that you were eating was pacifying that emotion.
Right. Right.
So I know plenty of people when they detox, let the moods. Woo. I always
Yes.
tell people, let me know when you detox. I don't care what it is. Cigarettes, food, sugar, caffeine. I just need to know so we're not going to blows because you just irritable and moody. But
Right.
it goes into that. And so Kiara, with your interest, I like it for her having the interest of wanting to do more of holistic programs to help with addiction. When you think about detox and addiction, we always talk about addiction comes in many forms. What is your feedback and interest in where you see things are when it comes to detoxing and addictions?
Mhm.
Well, one does not go without the other. You cannot absolve yourself of an addiction without detoxing, but you cannot detox unless you recognize your addiction. So,
Right.
Mm.
um, I think that's very important to continuously remember through this process. The reason I say that is the food fogs the brain, but the brain fogs makes us want to eat, wants makes us want to do things. So I think for detoxing purposes, clearing that brain fog and stress with detox gives the brain the opportunity to think clearly, more fresh, which automatically will improve mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but detoxing itself is not enough for addiction. Addictions of any kind, whether it be food, gaming, sex, gambling, anything like that. It requires constant work, which means part of the detoxing process is making sure that we're doing the necessary things to take care of our mental health, whether that be the yoga, holistic remedies,
Mm-hmm.
or it's making sure that we're still journaling, still analyzing how we're feeling through the process of the detoxification to even notice that there's a difference going on in the first place.
Right.
um, because that process itself can be overwhelming. Like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to indulge in this. How do I move
The
forward?
mental game that goes on. Yes. Yes.
Um, and addictions are interesting because addictions solely are a different reprocessing of the brain. Um, for substances specifically, when we take things like meth or stimulants like cocaine, they automatically flood the brain with hormones that weren't supposed to necessarily be there. Dopamine is created naturally. But when people shoot up meth for the first time, the dopamine receptors release 400 times more dopamine than they're supposed to. And if
Mm-hmm.
you keep doing that over and over again, your brain can no longer naturally process dopamine. Addictions are not irreversible, but going through the process of detoxification will give the brain time for you to reheal. It also takes about a year for the brain to have that neurogeneration process to
Mhm.
fully heal someone of addiction. Essentially, you're always susceptible to those addictions, but it will be about a year to actually feel like, okay, I have a full stronghold on what these addictions are.
Right. Mhm. Yeah.
So,
And I
and
think,
then, oh,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No,
Even
go
in
ahead.
and of that, one of the most important things that we talked about the sleep. Serotonin is another thing that is constantly, the reward receptors for serotonin are constantly disrupted with addiction. We now no longer have the natural way to produce melatonin on proper timing because we need substances to help us sleep more or sleep more often, sleep better. So things like marijuana, while marijuana is not necessarily a negative to use, if you keep using it over and over again as your way to sleep, now you're addicted to that process. Like, oh, this is ritualistic. You won't be able to sleep like you're supposed to without that substance.
Right. And that's where the addictive process, because once it's
Mhm.
the regular process is disrupted, then you're dependent on that. And I think
Yep.
that is so deep, where often the stigma when we talk about addiction is the stigma that we have attached to stuff. And I always say that stigma is always what we're fighting. That's where I say the shadow work is, because it really goes back to admitting that you are addicted to something. And that's where we talk, it goes back to the mental process. So I just know for myself, in the process of starting, by choosing to start this detoxification, in my mind, it's like automatically all the things that I normally crave is what's calling me. And I'm
Because food is
also,
addictive. Food is
food is
the
addictive.
number one addiction in the world, not the chemical substance. Food is the addiction. That's all they advertise. They advertise foods that look tasty. They look good on the television screen. And then when you go outside, you drive up the street, there's these restaurants that are not healthy for you on every corner. There's the ABC stores or Dobby's that, where they sell your alcoholic beverages. And all of these are, that's where it comes from.
The
We're
visual stimulation. We
visual,
said
yeah,
bringing it to
visual,
the eyes.
exactly,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. And she was speaking of, the serotonin, the feel good hormones, and that actually starts in the gut. So when we take in these foods and other products that are not healthy for us, that inhibits the serotonin uptake to allow us to be happy. I know immediately when I've had something that I wasn't supposed to have, because I have learned how to listen to my body. Anytime we feel extremely exhausted, when it after we've eaten,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the itis, honey. That means
Mhm.
that's your cells telling you that you have taken in something that does not agree with your body. And a lot of people are so fond of that phrase, oh, I got the itis. I just had a big meal of this, that, and the other. But actually that's the sad part, because you're not listening to your body. You're listening to outside outside people and situations that label it or tend
Or
to
the
do
emotional attachment
exactly.
to that's comforting. Oh,
Right,
I
right,
because a lot of times when you feel that way, you think of gatherings, big meals where you eat,
right,
and then
right,
you're feeling that feeling and saying that.
right,
But you're right. When we eat, we should feel energized.
right. We should feel energized, and the only time I feel energized is when I've indulged in my leafy green vegetables, my smoothies, my grains, my nuts, and have adequate water intake. Without water, when I practice as a physician assistant, I cannot tell you the numerous amount of patients that frowned upon water. I don't like water. I don't like the way it tastes. And granted, yeah, some bottled waters have a specific mineral taste. But water, our body's made up of over 80% water, just like the earth. The surface of the earth is made up of greater than 80% of water. Our bodies need water. So when you get sleepy after a full meal, trust me, you from that macaroni, that rice and gravy, that fried food, that cornbread or biscuits, that is what's dehydrating. It's turning into a paste, and that paste turns into inflammation. So therefore you're sleepy. Or you know what? You wake up with the gout pain in your big toe or in your wrist or in your knee. You're wondering, well, what did I have? Your body's speaking to you.
Mhm.
Learn to listen. Don't rely all the time on someone to tell you what's going on with you when your body actually speaks to you. So with serotonin, with these foods that we're taking in, it actually blocks, the activity to allow us to feel good. And therefore we're wondering why we feel more depressed, more anxious.
Because it numbs us, because it
Yes,
feels so good. We want that gratification from it, which goes
right,
back to the serotonin level, that we're not thinking consciously of this is harmful. And
right,
when we really
Mhm.
think about the addiction, the psychology of what all we consciously do,
right,
knowing the impact that it has, is like what switched in the brain. And that's where we talk about the chemical and the lack of nutrients from our
Mhm.
diets, that does not allow that mental faculty and that functioning to occur
right,
because of the depletion of
right,
minerals, which goes back to brain fog.
right.
And unfortunately, if we we really look at this country and what they want to do to us, There are food studies. There are food studies where they put all these little wires to people's head and they get them to eat chips, and they
Mm,
watch the brain light up to see if the flavors are where they want them to be achieved to keep the
mhm,
addictive processing going.
mhm,
Unfortunately, we have to do extra due diligence even with our produce. There's
mhm.
still byproducts in our produce. Like our
Yes,
food has
yes,
so many
yes.
unregulated regulations.
Even
So we
our
do.
healthy food stores, is it Kiera? I'm sorry, Miss
Yes,
Butler.
ma'am.
Yeah, even our health food stores like Earth Fare, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and I know there's one more that I'm missing. And it's fine and dandy to have these health food stores, but when you walk in these health food stores and they still have things in the aluminum cans, and they still have ingredients that are these big high tech scientific words that we can't read. How organic is that? That's
Right.
not exactly organic. Maybe the produce department where they have the fresh fruits and vegetables may have been grown in an organic manner, but everything else on the aisles, you still have to question: is this still healthy for me? Whether it's
Mhm.
saying it's made with wheat or soy, and soy is not good for us. I'm sorry. So those of you who are substituting your meat for tofu, um,
Mhm.
that is still giving your body extra work to break down. Soy is not good for our bodies. I
Estrogen,
I
women,
know I
especially for
know
women. Yeah.
Exactly. I know instantly when I've had sore because it raises my blood pressure and I have a brain fog. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of medical doctors, they don't touch on these things. They just hand you another prescription and say do this, that, and the other, and therefore you're finding yourself before you know it, you have a cabinet full of prescription synthetic medications that your body have to work harder to be able to eliminate because it's man-made. It's not from the earth. It's not organic. So we're taking in by far, I would say anywhere between 85-95% of inorganic material, whether it's uh, taken into your mouth, your eyes, your ears, your skin, shampooing your hair, whatever. We just have to be mindful of these issues in order to improve our health. So starting this detox program,
Mhm.
what our plan is to be able to specifically focus on the toxins that we know that surrounds us in our community, in our household, being able to eliminate those effectively, taking in good wholesome smoothies and food products that will help your body, help to assist your body. Now trust me, your body is made to repair itself. You don't have a punk ass body. It's just like Kiara,
Mhm.
Kiara says,
Yes, say that.
regeneration. Our body regenerates. When I was
Yeah.
in medical school, they told me the only organ that regenerates is the liver. And I have found out since I've done my holistic research and study that that's not so. Because when you cut your hand or you cut your skin, what does it do? It starts instantly repairing.
Mhm.
Instantly, that's regeneration. When you have a slight heart attack and that blood vessel's damaged, it has already started to grow extra little baby blood vessels around that spot that's damaged to help supplement you. So your body is the bomb. You hear me? All we're doing with the detox program is adding or educating you on food products that you can take in or environmental products to stay away from or to just help. Or like Asha said, uh, on a metaphysical realm,
Mhm.
fill
Mhm.
you with information that will help you clear your space of toxins or substances that are not good for you, period.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it will help assist. Now your body, if you do the right thing, your body can do the work.
Can do it naturally, like
Because
drinking water and
drinking water, people
things to
don't like
flush
water,
your
and
system.
water hydrates your cells. Water helps to um, soften the mucus or helps to get rid of the mucus for elimination process. It helps to flush out these toxins out of your bloodstream. Water is so important. And if you just don't like straight water, squeeze a lemon in it. Squeeze a lemon or put some cucumbers or strawberries in your water. Make it
Mhm.
creative. So it's important that we know these things. And as having a history in the medical field, and I'm guilty of this, I was at one point just handing out prescriptions and not thinking about all of the things that we're touching on now that would
Mhm.
help the client. And all I saw was a repeat client coming back with extra side effects to the prescriptions that may or may not have been given to them. And I find myself, and I found that they were happier knowing that a prescription may take care of this. When all it's doing is putting a bandage over the issue, it's
Yeah.
not getting to the root cause of the problem. So, avoiding alcohol, increasing your water intake, eliminating or decreasing the amount of salt that you're taking in. How you gonna put salt on your food and you don't drink water? I don't understand that. That's gonna just result in bloating and extra fluid. You're gonna wonder why your ankles look like you got cankles. You know,
Because you're not getting enough water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Taking
Yeah.
taking in antioxidant foods or prebiotic foods to help with your gut health, that can help with increasing serotonin and dopamine, the feel good hormones, so you can get up and feel lively and feel
Yes.
active. There's no quick fix to anything. You can
Yes.
try all those diet pills and drinks and advertisements that you hear about weight loss, but I'm gonna tell you, the minute you stop, it's gonna come right back because you hadn't changed this right
Or
here.
plus more. Yeah.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
Shay, on this, you someone asked, what about herbal teas to increase the water intake?
Absolutely. Green tea. I'm a big fan of green tea. If you want it, I would suggest drinking it as just water and green tea instead of adding like sugar products, because white products, processed foods, that only adds to your inflammation. So yeah, if you're going to do green teas, make sure you have a natural sweetener. If you need a sweetener in it, I'm a big fan of date syrup, or maybe a little honey, or maybe a little maple syrup. But that's all that I can advocate for at this particular time, based on my research and what I do here at home that has been effective for me. But yeah, green tea is really good.
Agave or honey? Somebody asked.
Agave.
Agave.
But honey is good too. Honey is good too. But if I had to choose from the two, I would prefer that you use agave. But before agave, I would prefer natural date syrup. It comes from the date fruit, and they just make it out of a
Mhm.
syrup. And all you see on the bottle is from a date. It's no extra added ingredients.
And even with the dates, you can add the dates in your smoothies and it
Absolutely.
will
And
sweeten
blend it up.
your smoothies. And it's one
Absolutely.
of the things in releasing certain, because to me in the past, if you would talk about dates, I was like, I hate
Yeah,
dates. But it's amazing on putting in your smoothie how it adds the sweetness to it
it
that you don't use with
does.
sugar, and it can change the whole flavor of it. Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yes. Now, one last thing I would say in case somebody knows, because often when people hear this and we jump in to do stuff, are there certain populations or people with certain health conditions that should not do detoxing? Because, and I know there's different types, because, some do liquid, some just do raw foods. But I think, Kiara, you're going to say something right quick before.
Yes, from an addiction standpoint, don't detox on your own at all. That's
Right.
what I should say. If it's from a substance,
Hmm.
don't get on this Facebook Live and think, "Uh oh, I have a problem. Let me go handle it myself." Any substance that you're dependent on, please seek additional help, because you can die from alcohol and
Right.
benzodiazepine withdrawal. So that's all I had to say on that.
And
And as
even with
far
that,
as
and I think the approach with the holistic approaches as what we're hoping to shift in the system of when you do those type of detoxes from substances, filling them up with the nutritional diets. You
right,
never see of a detox center that is giving vegan. My thing, because I worked in one, and it just bothered me that in that environment smoking was still allowed.
right.
And I feel like this is the perfect environment to get everything out their system and flush them with salads and vegetables and get rid of the smoking addiction and work on the mind. But we still have to see how things interplay. But either way, I'm glad you said, and I think because we're talking about detoxing in general, and that if there is someone who is needing to withdraw from substances, we need to talk more. And then before we leave, we're going to talk about some things that we have going on to help those that are dealing with that. But Shay, real quickly, if you would discuss certain health conditions or certain type of detoxes, maybe that certain health conditions should not do.
Um, I'm mainly thinking of issues with the gut, like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. I would be very uh, uh, the detox regimen for those type of issues would be very strict. I'd be very careful with those because that's dealing with our immune system. Our gut is where we house our immune system. And with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, your intestines are basically raw when that disease is active. So I would definitely introduce smoothies as a light intake of antioxidants and prebiotics, but I will also take them off some foods that are not good when it comes to that conditions. Like for those conditions, there's absolutely no sugar or white products. There's no dairy products. There's no eggs because there's no red meat because all of those are acidic foods that cause increase in mucus, and we know mucus leads to inflammation. And hell, they already got inflammation because they're bleeding. They're bleeding with every bowel movement. So those type of uh, diseases or illnesses, I would be very careful in how I structure their detox protocol. Everybody's protocol is not created equal. It depends on their health conditions, their background, what addictions have they had other than food. Is it alcohol? Is it street drugs? Or something else that I can't think of. So it'll be a different protocol for each individual, but mainly issues with the gut. When there's inflammation in the gut, those are the ones you have to be very, very careful of. And those are the people that need to stay away from these over-the-counter quick fixes, pills and juices that promises to lose weight. And get granted, they do work because back in the day, I tried it before I was even in the health field. I tried and they do work, but the minute you stop it, it comes back and it makes your health
And
condition.
even more for those who have autoimmune, because if your
Absolutely.
immune system is in the so you can do, but I would say everything is not for everybody. We do know detoxing is important, but sometimes if you have certain special conditions, detox with a health consultant. That's one thing why I
Yeah.
love with Shay and even what Shay offers with Ashakti, that I would say if any of you are dealing with any special health conditions or concerns or autoimmune, I suggest you getting a health consultation with her because she can more effectively tell you. Some people, if they're diabetic, you don't need to do certain things where your sugar is going too high,
Right.
or taking certain
Right.
things first thing in the morning that can spike your sugar level, because everybody say make this smoothie, and then everybody doesn't realize every smoothie is not the best for you. You
Right.
thinking, oh, I want it to taste good, and you have
Right.
these high carb fruits that
Right.
could spike your blood sugar level instead
Right.
of reducing it. So
Right.
from
It's such as
that,
bananas. Bananas with
mhm,
diabetic, when I do smoothies with bananas, don't use the whole banana. I just use maybe a third of a banana in the smoothie. I used to be diabetic as well. I'm no longer diabetic because
I
I
love how
went
you
on
say
a
I used to be. Yes,
I
say that
used to be.
again.
I used to have an issue, and don't ever claim any disease or situation. Don't claim and say I have this, I have this. I always say I had an issue with it because issues can be dealt with. Issues can be turned around. They can be resolved. So
Mhm.
I no longer have an issue with diabetes. My hemoglobin A1C, the last time I had a check was a 4.8. Before, when I was diabetic, it was up in the eights, 8 point something to 9 point something. And I did this with green smoothies, and I only added a third of a banana to it because I know bananas are high in sugar, and that will
Mhm.
only spike my uh, glucose level. So yeah, with diabetes, you have to be very careful with that. Green smoothies, in order to keep them from tasting like you're eating grass, just eating something from outdoors. Yeah, I will add the date syrup or the agave, or just maybe a third of a banana, or even a few cubes of a pineapple to help give it a taste that can be palatable for you. So yeah, there's certain protocols that are good for one client may not be for the
For another.
next. So,
Everything is not for
yeah,
everybody.
I go
Yeah.
through a complete history with you, history
Mhm.
just to see what's going on so that you can get the results that you need.
Yeah. So I do say for those who are listening, if anybody wants a detox consultation, it is done virtually, so it doesn't matter where you are for those who are not in Charlotte, North Carolina. But go to the website up under book services, and She can help you in that process to help you identify what is the best detox, because sometimes you can detox and feel like you are dying and realize I never want to do this detox again, but
And
it wasn't the right detox for you.
or your body's gonna react. If you're detoxing and you start to feel worse, that's your body reacting because you're not giving it the crap that you've been getting. So your body's having a tantrum right then and there. So
Mhm.
you just have to give it a few days, maybe up to a week or so, and just let your body adjust to this new way of living, of putting different healthy products in your body, and your body will fall in line. But that part of your body that has been inflamed, which it is, and you could be feeling good to this day, and your doctor could be telling you, based
Yeah.
on your blood work, you are healthy as a cow. But trust me, there's some latent disease laying
That
around
pops
somewhere that will
up.
pop up the minute you become stressed, or perhaps pregnant, or lack sleep. All that stuff is
And it
going to come out.
shows it's
Yeah, it's going to
that
show.
shadow. I always say that
Absolutely.
shadow
So when
side.
your body starts to act up, when you're detoxing, hold on, sister. Just hold on,
Yeah.
because that's your body's getting in line. You're That's toxins. Toxins are everywhere in your bloodstream. If you're detoxing, it's flowing out. So you're gonna
Hmm.
feel bad. You may feel bad before you feel better.
Hmm. Real quickly before we close out and tell what are some of the things that we have going on, someone did ask about, do you recommend any particular herbal supplements, vitamins to support a detox? They need to reach out to you. Dr. Shay here has this herbal tea bag. If you're local, I don't know if you're local, but even if you're not local, she can ship it to you. This me tab. Tell them about your me tab. I love
Oh, my me tab is the bomb. And it comes from things that you might already have in your cabinet, but it helps to boost your metabolism. It helps to taper off unwanted cravings. Like, I drink my Metab tea every morning, and I promise you, I'm not feeling any signs of hunger to maybe 1 or 2 o'clock um, in the early afternoon. I still eat. I still put something in my mouth, but it's healthy. It might be a smoothie. It might be a tangerine or a little cutie oranges, or it might be a few cubes of a mango. The objective here is to keep your body from feeling hunger pains. You're trying to condition your brain not to tell your body, oh, she's starving me. Let me hold on to what I have. So even though I don't feel hungry, I still put something in my mouth so my body won't think that I'm trying to starve it. And what I put in my mouth is normally healthy. But the METAP tea helps to curb your appetite, helps to boost your metabolism, and also helps to support losing or getting rid of unwanted weight that you have on.
it.
And it tastes good, and for some of you, and it's a little spicy because I do add cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper because it's a lifesaver for me. When I went on my food transition, when I have all these health problems of my own, I researched natural ways to help with blood pressure. Not only did cayenne pepper, drinking it, help to lower my blood pressure, it also took away my chronic pain.
Yeah.
And when I say I had pain, I couldn't even get up from a seated position. So cayenne pepper. So I stick with that in everything. So yes, I add it to my
That's
smoothies.
it.
You don't
Yeah.
have to do that. You don't have to add cayenne pepper to your smoothies, but I add it to mine because I like it. And I add turmeric to it, and it's just really, really very tasty. So
And Angel, if you inbox me too, I have a link for some other natural herbal supplements that I use that can help supplement. I mean, some things you really don't need supplements if you're putting the right
right,
nutrients in.
right,
But
exactly.
multivitamins do help with your energy level and things of that nature in that process of detoxing. But if you inbox me, Angel, I can give you some more leads in that. So real quickly, so we can get off of here, we want to just give you some brief information of some things that we have coming up in this process of detoxing and addiction. Kiara, let them know a little bit about what your project you're going to be working on.
So I am attempting to do a smoking cessation workshop. I do have a screening out with questions that will be able to be accessed. They're basically just trying to grab some demographic information, um, assess the severity of smoking. This is smoking anything, whether it be cigarettes, marijuana, um, extreme herbal smoking. So the goal for this is really to find holistic ways to address the smoking, why we're smoking. Is it the fixation? Is there underlying reason for it? And provide some additional remedies and services through a Shakti that can help with that process.
So look for that to come on the website. I don't know. Are you able to put anything in the comment, Kiara? Are you able to see that part on the screen? Because I was gonna
I
say
can see them, but I can't add
you
anything.
can't really add. Okay. So if anybody is interested in participating in the screening, which is the initial stage of helping people to reduce their addiction to smoking, or some loved ones that you know that are wanting to stop smoking, please inbox us on that and let us know if you're interested, because this is this young lady's project on helping those to wean themselves from smoking using holistic modalities. Also, what we have coming up for those who want to detox, don't know how to detox, don't know where to start, and really may not have people around you to support you in that process, because that's a whole nother thing of doing a detox. Because right when you want to do the detox is where everybody want to take you out to eat, want to go out to eat, and then, oh, you'll be all right, just go tomorrow, you can start your detox tomorrow. But sometimes you need a tribe. So we are starting a 10-day detox program this Wednesday. If anybody is interested in this detox support group, it's a private Facebook group where we would just have the support, put tidbits. Me and Shay would be in there to help motivate you, give you morale, give you tips, give you recipes. And also, if you're part of the group, then you can get discount for if you want to have any coaching services one-on-one, either with Shay to help you on your detox approach, with her having her medical background, or if any of you have any emotional things that come to surface, then we can help you from the mental health side. And as always within this, if you're realizing that you have an addiction to food or anything, you can reach out to us at Ashakti Wellness. We have a graduate intern that is able to see clients at low or no cost. So at this point in time, money is not an issue, but we do have the resources from the mind, body, and spirit to help you all. So we thank you all for joining this live. You know where to find us. And next month, me and Dr. Shay have been talking. I think we might have some discussions on this thing with weight loss and the quick fixes and the
Yeah.
after effects of it, because
Yeah.
it still goes back to the mindset.
That's right.
It goes back to the mindset. So if you guys have certain topics that you would wish to know more about and have this dialogue, this is just our way of informal talk to get to know who we are, our knowledge, and how we can assist you, whether we cannot provide the service ourselves or refer you to someone who can. But it's enlightening your mind, your body, and spirit. So we thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Blessings.
Thank you.